What up, YouTube? We back with another reaction video. And this one, we're gonna talk about Trump's taking questions from news reporters about his deployment to Chicago. If you haven't checked out my last video, we might as well spoke on this, how pretty much he sent troops to Washington DC and how the crime literally stopped for a couple of days, obviously because they're there, but pretty much how it showed a significant decrease on crime and how it's making safer for everybody there, and hopefully it starts decreasing over the months and years even, but who knows. So in this video, it's pretty much him talking about in Chicago. I think about sending troops to Chicago, and which he should. I feel my best opinion, I feel it's best for over there in the city. That way, businesses can open back up, there could be people shopping again, people could start opening property over there without shit getting destroyed, things like that. So it's a whole bunch of benefits of him deploying the National Guard out there. But people have their opinions. It's very controversial, but go check this video out. And it says we're going in Trump on sending troops to the major US city. So we're gonna see what the news reporter is asking him and see how Donald Trump responds to that. And see, I know as the mayor and the governor is trying to stop him from sending troops over there to make it safer, but I'm gonna speak on that later on in this video on how is that's absurd, bro. But we about to check it out and see.
You're definitely going to send National Guard troops to Chicago?
I didn't say when, but the answer is, look, Chicago's very interesting because I watched Pritzker get up and say about, we don't need help, we're safe. But 2 weeks ago, they had 6 people murdered, and they had 24 people hit by bullets. Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit, and 7 people died. And then over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel. They had, I guess, 9 killed, 9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets. And you have this governor get up, who's a terrible governor, probably
Insane, bro. I mean, let me know what your thoughts about it. Do you think they were part of? Do you think it was gang affiliated? Me personally, I think mostly gang affiliated people. But sometimes it's not even gang affiliated people. It's people that's innocent walking down the street and they get their purse taken or they get robbed for their phone, things like that. Because people will rob you over little stuff, man. It's very ridiculous nowadays. And I feel you just gotta crack down on it before it gets out of hand. Because nowadays, man, people start taking it upon themselves to eliminate the intruder. That's who got the Second Amendment right to bear arms, because people like this, they like causing destruction or killing just for the fun of it, for the thrill of it. There's people out there like that. So yeah, man, it's just crazy how you can just name these numbers out. And who knows, probably somebody got killed right now, this minute. But it's crazy, man. Let's see what else I gotta say.
probably he and Gavin Newsom would be probably the 2 worst and most naive. They're naive. Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say, we don't want any protection. We don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close to this. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now. Parts of Los Angeles are terrible. If we didn't put out the fires, and I mean the other fires, the bullet fires, they didn't do a good job with, they should have had the water coming down, like I said. We had to release the water. We had to go in and release the water to LA. It's so badly run. But if I didn't send the National Guard into Los Angeles, I would be making an announcement today. I'd be talking about Huntsville, and I'd simultaneously be saying, by the way, the Olympics is not coming to Los Angeles. If we didn't do that, and even the sheriff, the top law enforcement person in Los Angeles said, we could not have handled it without them. So that's what he said.
Make your mind up on Chicago, though?
We're on a mission to give 2 million people all around the world clean water.
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people.
He said, we're going in. Doesn't matter if they like it or not. Simple. That's the thing, though. He got like a lot of power. So it's like for them to go against what he's trying to do as right, it goes to show you their character and what kind of concern they have, or their true colors of them showing they don't really care about the average American person. They do not care, bro. If they would have cared, they would be like, okay, like, bring the help. We need the help. The police officers, they need the help. There's a lot of crime going on, and we don't have enough force to de-escalate the problem. No, they don't say ways to de-escalate it. They're just showing ways and showing the point of views of how to stop him from doing what he got to do to make it safer. So it's like whatever happens in the dark will shine into light one way or another. It just always happens.
People are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called D.C., District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe. Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience that you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly, and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe you were very brave in talking about it. You made quite an impression on a lot of people. I appreciate it. But there were other people in this room that have been hurt very badly just walking down the street in D.C. Washington, D.C. is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. The restaurants are open. They're booming. You can't get a restaurant. New restaurants are announcing that they're going to be open. This took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago it became what's known as a safe zone. It's a safe city. And this city was really bad, really, really bad. We took 1,600 people out, hardcore criminals that will not be coming back anytime soon. And we're very proud of it. To have our nation's capital lose every week, it was like years, many years, where every single week somebody was killed for many, many, many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had, last week it was announced that nobody was killed last week. And I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country. And I'm saying proudly, ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C. this week. He looked at me like, what's that all about? I say, yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem, and we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful, and the police commission has been very helpful, and it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. That's
the thing, too. It's like, I feel like the people that's like against it, I don't really agree with this type of stuff. It's people that's committing the crimes, people that's, having a thrill of committing the crimes that they're doing. Because the regular citizen in that city that's just trying to go to work, just trying to go to the next restaurant with their family, I'm pretty sure they will absolutely agree with this or what he's doing. Just because they want their family and themselves to go just to a regular restaurant, a regular place, without having to look over their shoulders. It just goes to show you, man, like how it just takes action and seeing for what it is and trying to de-escalate it before it gets out of control. And the people that's in that city are just going about their daily lives and not committing no crimes and doing everything the right way. They will appreciate him a lot for doing this.
I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops, because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network, except really the opposite, I would say, very unfriendly network. And they interviewed about 12 people on this morning. Most of them were African American, who were black. And they were saying, please, please, please let the president send in. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified. If the governor Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore. I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world. But, you know, we took care. This was a beautiful thing that happened in Washington because we showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong. You know, we had a great decision from the Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are put down based on merit. You can hire based on merit. So merit for a soldier or for a policeman is strong, physically fit, having a certain ability, not a person that is woke and got the job through woke, but
Yeah, pretty much not a fucking trans or someone that don't have the physical, ability to take down a regular person. You know, it's just absurd. It's crazy. Like, imagine seeing a police officer that's like, wearing like a wig or something, or like just look very out of place. Like, you wouldn't take that person serious, bro. You would not. I don't care what nobody said. You would not take that person serious. You just look at them like, yo, like, are you like a police officer, or you're dressed in like a Halloween costume? Get your goofy ass. Like, you would not care, bro. But if you see someone that looks intimidating, looks like he work out, he's fit, and he looks like he don't play no games, he's strong. You can physically like see the person, like, so how physically fit they look. You will look at it a certain way, but like, okay, this person not playing around. Let me, you know what I'm saying? But if you see something that looks goofy, like a goofball, you're just gonna continue doing what you gotta do. Just trip the person, or like, not be able to handle just one regular male person. People in those type of jobs that's able to handle the pressure of what the job requires. Can you just hire anybody for that position?
it wasn't strong enough to lift a gun out of the holster, et cetera, et cetera. No, I looked at the police. As you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting with, there had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking. And when the bad guys see them, they're not going to do a thing. And so I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template, and we're going to do it elsewhere. But Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have him call. I would love the governor of Illinois. I'd be honored to take his call. All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone. I would love to have, I would say, Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals. These are hardcore criminals. You know, we took many people off the streets of Washington, D.C. They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They were born to be criminals, frankly. They were born to be criminals, and they're tough and mean, and they'll cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next day. They won't even remember that they did it. And we're not going to have those people. Washington, D.C. is now a safe zone. It's a safe place. And you can walk, Katie, you can walk right down the street with, by the way, one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen, which is her husband. He was a football player for like 11 years in the NFL. He's a big person. But big doesn't mean anything when they have guns and when they have knives and everything else that they have, right? But you can walk right down the street, even by yourself, and you're totally safe. Washington, D.C. is a great thing. Yes, ma'am, please.
Mr. President, as you're calling on Democratic leaders across the country to work with you on crime, do you see your efforts here in D.C., including, for example, working with Mayor Bowser here as a model for bringing more bipartisanship in matters not only with crime, but also issues that matter to everyday American people's lives?
So Mayor Bowser's been great. She could have taken the thing, oh, well, and then after I clean it up, they'll take credit for it. You know what they do is they take credit. Like, we cleaned up Los Angeles. We did a great job there. And it was overwhelming what was going on. And again, the police chief made a statement that we could not have done, there's no way they could handle it. You saw what was happening out there. It was going to be a disaster. We stopped it cold. If we didn't do that, would have been a very sad day. And remember, we have the Olympics, we have the World Cup, we have all these things coming, and we have 250, all of these things coming. But I watched Newsom get up and say he's doing a great. He's not. We're the ones that did it, and that's okay, whatever it takes. But the main thing is But he got up and said we did it. Well, he didn't want us there, and he's going to need us again because it's starting to form again. I see it. It's starting to form again. We have to maintain. It's like maintenance on an airplane. You can buy it, but you have to maintain it. And if you don't maintain it, a good plane becomes very unsafe very quickly. So it's an honor to do it. A lot of presidents wouldn't do what I'm doing. I don't need this heat. But when I watched television last night and I'm watching the news and I see that 9 people were killed in Chicago and 54 were badly wounded with bullets, I say, that's not this country. We have to do something. And I do say this. I say this very much. I'm not speaking to anybody but them right now. I would love to receive calls from governors and mayors saying they need help. We'll help them. We have a lot of people. We have a great force. We have a great military force. Pete will tell you that when I was running for office, and this was a big headline, I think, probably got me a couple of votes, but you couldn't sign people in the military. Nobody wanted to join the military, the Army, Air Force, the Navy, Marines, Space Force, Coast Guard. We never forget Coast Guard because they've done such a great job. Never. But nobody wanted to join any of them. We were way below what we wanted. Every single one. The closest was the Marines, whatever that is. You'll explain that to me. But the closest was the Marines. But every service was way down, way down. And then I got elected, and our country's the hottest country anywhere in the world right now.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
That's crazy, bro. Like, it's sad too how he has to see it from himself to see the amount of crime that's going on and for him to actually take action. You don't see the mayors and governors asking him for help in certain type of cities. It's why? It's why do they like the crime? Why do they like the destruction? It's just a question you gotta ask yourself. This other video, I guess, of this goofball, completely woke, doesn't care about the Americans, care about his pockets, is a clear example. So, to the mayor of Chicago residents furious, is that Chicago mayor rallies against feds, up on crime, right, against feds. See what you got to say.
Chicago. No militarized force in the city of Chicago. We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago. Are you prepared to defend this land?
What are you defending, bro? Criminals, bro? What are you defending? That's what I don't understand. It's he's making your city better by making it safer. But that it could be more people coming into the city. That's gonna bring more money into the city to open businesses, keep the business going round and round in the city. So what are you actually defending? And what land are you talking about? First of all, you're not even in the city that the people are getting robbed, people are getting shanked, shot at. You don't live around there, bro. So he don't really understand. He don't really live through what the average person goes through in the dangerous hot zone of the area of the city. So he's just full of absolute shit. Okay.
President decides to continue to break this Constitution, it's going to be the labor movement that stitches it back together.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson rallying against President Trump's offer to deploy federal troops to help the city fight crime. Now, this despite a violent holiday weekend. At least 7 people were shot and killed and dozens more wounded. Kata Truss lives in Chicago.
What is he defending right now? It looks like to me he's defending criminals. Bro, you see it right here, bro.
She is the director of the Community Roundtable and joins us now. Great to have you back on the show. I want to read to you what's in Mayor Johnson's executive order. He says the city will pursue all available legal and legislative avenues to counter coordinated efforts from the federal government that violate the rights of the city and its residents. You're closer to the people than we are, and we'd love to hear what you think about all of this that's going on, and especially the very tragic news from over the weekend.
Well, first of all, this has been a very violent weekend in the city of Chicago. As a matter of fact, the last several weekends in Chicago have been very violent. And so when Mayor Johnson stands there and talks about taking over the city and not letting troops come in, is as opposed to what? As opposed to the high crime that is here, as opposed to the murders and the violence that's going on, as opposed to businesses being afraid to open their doors because they're constantly being robbed. What's the point in this? You know, the fact of the matter is this. Mayor Johnson has a dismal approval rating. And so going against President Trump probably in his mind seems like the right thing to do. He has never listened to the people and what we really want since he's been in office. And, you know,
this guy, he just cares about himself, man. He just cares about himself. Because if he really wanted what's best for the city, he would agree in a heartbeat. He would agree to this. I don't see no other way how this could be a bad thing. It's just you gotta have no common sense. Man, it's very unfortunate, bro. Like, how people could be so blinded to vote for certain mayors that don't really care about them.
What is really happening here is I feel that the mayor is probably deflecting. He's deflecting from the fact that he mismanaged the city's money by supporting the migrant crisis. And he asked the Board of Education to take out a junk loan for the city to cover costs. That's basically what the loan is for. So now that the Board of Education has refused, most of the measures that he's really tried to push in the city have been turned down because they've been things that have not been beneficial to the people here. So of course he's going to go against whatever measures President Trump puts in place.
Right. So he would use politics and a fight with Trump in order to help his own standing, is what I hear you say. I want you to listen to some of these Chicago business owners to talk about what they're going through.
The city's not safe, you know, for the mayor and the governor to go on TV and use us as statics, as numbers. I mean, we're human beings. We're talking about real time. We have to hire extra security, private security on the street. We have to make sure that we advise all our patients when they go home and check the Uber. People can't even walk their dogs. I mean, this is to believe that the city is safe the way they made it sound in the press conference. It is wrong.
Kata, if Brandon Johnson were to change his mind today,
boy, furious, bro. As a business owner,
and take President Trump up on the offer, get some results like they're seeing in Washington, D.C., do you think that his approval would actually be harmed in the city?
Absolutely not. It may help him, considering the fact that his approval rating is at a dismal 1 digit. It might be something that can help him. But the fact of the matter is, it really doesn't matter about what Brandon Johnson says. It doesn't matter about his politics. What matters is the people. And the people here in Chicago don't feel safe. The people here in Chicago want the help that President Trump is trying to send here. So regardless of what the mayor says, we want the help.
Kata, thank you.
Exactly. This guy don't. He get him off the stage, bro. Like, somebody should have just thrown an apple at that. Somebody should have thrown like a tomato, like right in his forehead or something, bro. Because what this guy is saying is just very irrelevant. It's what the people want. People is what make the city go around. People is what make it go around. This person, he won't be shit with other people. He's just a standing piece of turd. People like this infuriates me, man, because it shows they just take advantage of people in their pockets and not give them, give them nothing in return. People like this, they will soon see their demise. They will soon lose power. It's just because they will start showing the true colors and the true darkness of the certain individual. It just shows the lack of sense he has. And he doesn't really care about the people. It's clear as day. I don't know what your thoughts about that, of what he's going and what Donald Trump is going to do in Chicago. I'm glad for it. It's going to make it safer. So, whoever's on the other side, I wish them the best of luck, because we have the military over there. So, if they're trying to start a war, good luck. Pretty much certain residents speaking about the situation of what Donald Trump is going to do over there. So let's see what they got to say.
First, Chicago records its most violent holiday weekend of the summer.
9 people were killed, 52 wounded just since Friday evening. And police say a large portion of the holiday shooting victims were attacked during incidents, a drive-by in Humboldt Park, and mass shootings in Bronzeville and Oakland. Now, this weekend's violence comes as President Trump is continuing to threaten to deploy National Guard troops and federal agents into the city.
They were saying, please, please, please let the president send it. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help.
And Tia visited both Chicago's south and west sides today to ask residents what they want.
She joins us live from downtown with what she heard from many people. Tia?
Well, Terrence and Sylvia, you know, it's a really easy point for political pundits to get in front of a microphone and say what they think about the National Guard coming to Chicago. We've heard a lot from them. We've heard from politicians. And in fact, we've heard from military veterans. The group that we haven't heard from are the residents, many of them living in some of these violent communities, what they think about the National Guard coming to town. And our first stop was on the west side, right in Garfield Park.
They shouldn't have authority to try to police the world of the city because they don't know the rules and regulations of what officers do.
My thing is we in war with ourselves or like is the government in war with the citizens? So.
Look in front of Marshall High School. There's nobody there. There's nobody here.
Now, Garfield.
Okay, they completely blinded what's going on. Completely blinded.
Park on Chicago's west side ranks second among communities with the most shootings this year. That's according to crime data. So far, 93 people have been shot in the area and 13 have died. Now, we spoke with 3 residents who all share, you heard it, a common view. The National Guard is not the solution. Some described it as a temporary fix to a much deeper problem. Meanwhile, 14 miles away in Chicago's Woodlawn neighborhood, that's on the south side, we interviewed 2 women from different generations. And despite the age gap, their opinions align. Both questioned the need for troops. One of them said Chicago was not nearly as bad as some other cities and expressed concern that the city might be used as a political pawn.
President or whoever is sending this off to us or deploying these National Guards here, I'm not sure if that's such a good idea. We need to have more policing in these areas where they're doing these crimes. And that's all to it, and it shouldn't just be downtown.
The National Guard will only be a temporary solution to an everlasting problem, because even if you get National Guard here, sure, crime will go down, but I don't think that it will get to the root of the problem. It'll slap a Band-Aid on. There's a lot of reasons why there's a lot of crime that goes on, like throughout Chicago and even surrounding neighborhoods. Some people have a lack of resources. Maybe they were not raised in the right houses, and when bringing National Guard here, all that's going to do is
That's true. It could be from the household as well. How people was raised, families. But the whole family stuff, that's a whole separate issue right there.
Still fear.
Now, keep in mind, we did just interview a very small part of Chicago's population. But when you look at numbers, because numbers don't lie, you can see that Chicago.
I don't want to sue. But that's the thing, is like, yeah, they have crimes. And it's like she said, it's going to be a temporary Band-Aid of the crime. Cops is going to go down. People want to stop doing it. It always roots back to the type of families that are within the community as well, which is a whole nother issue in itself. It's like single parent homes, people getting raised up of seeing negativity, destruction, criminal acts. You know, that's the only way around it too. Is like people see this, little kids see this growing up, they get groomed by it. So yeah, man, just it's deeper, man. It's deeper than the actual crime that you see from your eyes. It's from like background, how they was raised. Yeah, man, you just gotta start bringing families back together and stop people from doing these type of crimes. But yeah, let's see how this turns out. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts about this. It's gonna be interesting. What other cities you think he will target next? What other city? Who knows? But appreciate you guys tuning into the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and see you on the next video. Peace.